How often do you take care of yourself, mama? How often do you do something that brings you joy, that brings you peace? How often do you give yourself about 20 to 30 minutes a day to nurture your mind, your body, and your soul? Is it not really? Is it a never? Or is it often? Well, it's okay because you're not alone. Let me tell you, first things first, you're not alone. I'm here to tell you that there's days where I completely forget about myself. Besides being a mom and a wife, I forget that I am just me as well. That there is a person besides being a mom and a wife. So today, I want to share with you my 5 self-care tips. My self-care routines that I like to do on a daily basis. Now, do I do all of them in one day? No. Do I do 4 of them in one day? No. Do I do one of them at least once a day? Yes, I try. Do I sometimes forget about taking care of me? Absolutely. But these tips that I am sharing with you, mamas, are the self-care routines that when I choose to do at least one of them during the day, it brings me peace, it brings me joy, and it reminds me of who I truly am in God's eyes. And I hope that these tips can help you in some way. It can motivate you to maybe continue your self-care, or maybe you completely don't take care of yourself, or it's been a long time, and maybe this is a sign that you should start. So I pray that this helps you, and let's get to it. Here are my 5 self-care tips. Tip number 1 is reading. I love to get lost in a book. I have always been a reader since I was a young little girl. I've always loved books. And if you watched my last video, I talked about my monthly book review. Every month, I like to sit down and read a book. I give myself about 30 days to finish a book. Sometimes it takes me more than 30 days to finish a book. One, because life gets in the way. Sometimes I really don't have that time to sit down and read my book. Other times, well, most of the times actually, is because I journal chapter per chapter. And right now in this season of my life, I'm actually really into self-development books. I have dug really deep into my self-development books. So I journal a lot. You know, every chapter that I go through, I highlight any quote, any suggestion, any tip that the author may be giving. in each chapter, anything that resonates with my life, anything that my soul, my spirit says, you know what? Yes, yes. And when I journal, I start reflecting about my life. So reading has really been my go-to for self-care. It has nurtured my mind and my soul, and I can tell the way that I show up for my family is completely different from not choosing to take care of myself for at least 20 minutes. So tip number 1 is reading. Now, tip number 2, journaling with prayer. So I like to sit down at my dining table, which I'm here right now, and I personally like to journal my day. I like to journal the events that occurred that day, big and small. I like to journal my thoughts of the day, my feelings of the events. And as I journal, you know, I really connect with my soul. I like to really be 100% honest with myself in my feelings and all of that. So when I am done journaling, I like to close my eyes and imagine that I have Jesus right in front of me, and imagine that he's just sitting here across the table, giving me his time and his ears to listen to my day. I actually have the famous picture of the Last Supper. It's up here. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but it's up here. And so I sit on the other end, and I imagine that he is sitting right here where I'm at, just listening to me. And I read out loud what I had journaled for the day. And as I read aloud my day, I have a full-on conversation. And yes, sometimes I do feel crazy, and especially like the first time that I did it, I felt super crazy. I would not want my husband to walk in and like see me and hear me talking to myself, but I started getting used to it. And when I do this, I usually do this at night once the boys are down and my husband is in the room, you know, doing his thing. This is where I take advantage of my thing. So this has really helped me, mamas. Like I really feel God's presence. Like I really feel like I start having that hope that everything's gonna be okay. If for any reason I had a hard day, you know, with my boys, it's like God reminding me that, like, Mama, you're doing amazing. You're doing fine. I got you. It's like him hugging me and telling me everything's gonna be okay. And as you noticed, I like to journal. I like to journal when I read, and I like to journal when I pray. Because it's something about a pen or a pencil and a notebook where you can just pour out all your feelings, all your emotions, and, you know, get lost in it. Personally, that has worked like amazing. That honestly, like reading and journaling have been something that I've been doing maybe like 5 days out of the week, because it is something that really truly helps me. It's just amazing. So my third third tip is exercise, okay? So I like to give myself at least 30 minutes a day for any type of activity for myself, meaning going out for a walk or etc. But right now it's been actually going into my garage and doing a 30-minute jump rope session with just myself, because the feeling afterwards, after jumping for 30 minutes, has been, oh my goodness, like it has taken all the stress off of me. Do I do it often? No. Okay, let's be real. This month it's been really weird, so I do it for like 1 full week, and then it's been like 1 week and then 1 week I'm off, and then I start back the following week, and it's just been very inconsistent. And it's kind of an area where I do need to continue working on, because I do see the good effects of it. I do see the improvement. I do see how I feel so much better by myself when I do that. So that's something that I am working on to do consistently. So exercise is my third tip. And my fourth tip is waking up 30 minutes to an hour before my kids. Do I do this often? No. Seriously, I don't. And the reason why I'm giving you these tips, even if I don't do them often, mamas, is because I want to just show you like the real life, it's just, I'm just being completely honest with you. And there's, like, for example, my first and my second tip is something that I have been doing as consistent as possible, because I truly enjoy this. And my other tips are because I know that they are important to my body and my mental health, even though I truly really don't enjoy this, because exercise afterwards, it feels good, but at the moment I'm like, oh, I really don't want to do this. Do you understand? So I'm just trying to give you guys just the real life scenario of a mom, So my fourth tip is waking up 30 minutes to an hour before the children. That I have noticed how when I actually do this, it prepares me mentally to welcome the kids with happiness. Because usually when they wake up, that's when I get up, and it's usually about 7:30 in the morning. But I feel like crap. Excuse my language, but I do. Like, I end up feeling like, oh, I'm coming, that kind of thing. So when I've actually, said, okay, I'm getting up, and I push myself out of the bed, it's kind of like, either like I sit down, I pray, and, I just do random things before the boys get up. And by the time they're up, I'm like, hey boys, good morning. And I'm there singing songs, and I'm like, whoa, like the difference. So in this area is another area where I'm really trying to improve as well, because I notice the difference, and it's been a challenge because I love sleep. That's like my number one thing is sleep. So it's been challenging, but I know that I will do it. My fifth and last tip: talking to somebody I trust. That is a part of my self-care routine. And let me tell you that it has been such a drastic change in me and like in myself. So right now I have a life coach. I hired a life coach, and sitting down and talking to her about my goals, talking to her about what's going on in my life has been such an amazing relief to me. I have suffered from postpartum depression. I have suffered from anxiety. I got to the point at one point in my life, I got to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. So I looked for help. And I have been with her since September of 2020. And since then, just like the drastic change that I have seen within myself has been like amazing, you know. And maybe you can't afford a life coach because it could be pricey. Maybe you can find a therapist that, you know, isn't too pricey, that it's at your price range. Or maybe you have somebody that you trust, like a sister, like your mom, like your aunt, grandmother, you know, somebody that you can relate to and that you trust, that you can go and talk about your your struggles, your obstacles in life, your challenges. And when you actually let it out instead of bottling it all in, it actually helps you mentally. And I'm telling you this by experience. I see my life coach once a month, and we talk about my goals. We talk about, you know, challenges that I have been going through monthly. And, you know, right now, one of my challenges really has been homeschooling, because it's like, okay, so what do I do? How do I organize myself? What do the kids need to learn? So it's been a little challenging, and me having the capability of being able to speak to her about this and her tell me, okay, this like step by step, let's break this down, let's do this, it has helped me completely. Like, you guys have no clue. And that is my 5th tip of self-care, is, you know, talking to somebody. That could be a therapist, that could be your friend, that could be your mom, that can be your sister. And, you know, just letting things out. Don't bottle them up, because when you bottle them up, that's when you can end up falling into depression. You know, I just want to let you guys know that I am not perfect by all means. So there's just days that I've told you guys, I skip 1, 2, 3. And it's challenging sometimes. Sometimes I have to remind myself that I am more. I am a mom and I am a wife. But besides that, I am something else. And in order for me to show up and be the best that I can be, I have to be taking care of myself in order to show up as the woman that God has called me to be. So that makes me more of a powerful mother, powerful wife, powerful woman, when I take care of my inner self. And that boosts my confidence. Showing love to myself boosts my confidence, gets rid of my insecurities, and more than anything, builds my faith with God. Believe it or not, it does. So, mamas, mis madres poderosas, my powerful mothers, thank you so much for watching. And you can follow me on Instagram at madres.poderosas. And thank you for watching. You know, remember, recuerden that we are perfectly imperfect. Somos perfectamente imperfectas. We are powerful mothers. Somos madres poderosas. Thank you for watching, and I will see you, mommies, on my next video.